Hey, what's up everyone? This is Matt from rhinoio.com. This is the second part of our series on web components and Polymer. Last time we talked a little bit about what web components are and what Polymer is and how it can help us to create web components. But now it's time to get our hands dirty. We're going to create our contact form element and we're going to use it inside of our index.html file. So first we will need an index.html file. So let's go inside of a folder. I've created a folder called new contact and I'll just create a new file. We will call it index.html. Click edit. And inside of the index.html file, let's just add a boilerplate. We'll call the title contact form. Now let's save it and let's go back to our directory. We're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it components. Inside of our components folder, let's create two folders, one called Polymer, and let's create another one called contact-form. Contact-form. So let's go inside of our Polymer folder, and we want to include all of the files found here. This is going to include mainly what we need is polymer.html and polymer.js, but it also contains some Bower, JSON, and some log files. And it contains this layout.html file that's used for different CSS stuff inside of Polymer. We're not going to need those. We just need this polymer.html and polymer.js for now. So let's open it up. I'm actually just going to throw everything into the folder. Once it's loaded, take a look at polymer.html. You can see, again, it's just using the polymer.js file. It's also including the layout.html. We don't need it, but we're just going to leave it there for now. So now let's go back to our directory and let's go to the components folder, and inside of it go to contact-form. And inside here, let's create a new file called contact-form.html. Let's edit it. So now inside of our file, we need to link the polymer.html file to this file. So we'll use that link element to do that. We'll set the relationship equal to import, and we'll set the reference equal to the Polymer folder and the polymer.html file. So now that we have the polymer.html file inside of our document, we also have the polymer.js file, which allows us to create custom elements using a custom element, and it's called polymer-element. And inside of this, there is a mandatory attribute called name, which is going to be the name of the custom element, and we're just going to call it contact-form. The polymer-element also has other attributes. One of them is called attributes, which allows you to set properties inside of the template. One is called extends, which is used to extend other native and custom elements. There's one called noScript, which allows you to create a custom Polymer element without the need for the Polymer Constructor, which we'll see here in a minute. And another one called constructor, which allows you to create new instances of the element. We'll discuss all of these attributes in more detail later on. Now that we have our Polymer-element, we need to set a template inside of it, and this is going to contain all of the markup that goes into the shadow DOM of our custom element. So since we are using a contact form, we're going to create a contact form. I'm going to use two inputs, a text area and a button. So type equals text, name, this is going to be the name input, and let's copy and paste this. The next one will be an email, and then the next one will be a text area, and we're going to name it message. Let's give placeholders for each of these. First one will be name, email, and message. And then let's not forget the button as well so that we can send it. And we'll call it send. So now that we have a template for our contact-form element, whenever we render it inside index.html, this is what will be displayed using the shadow DOM. So now let's include an inline script inside of the Polymer-element. This is going to contain the Polymer Constructor. And this Polymer Constructor actually allows for data binding, much like AngularJS, and it also allows for event mapping. So it gives special powers. And again, I want to make sure I kind of clarify that if you don't have NoScript as an attribute in your Polymer-element, you must have an inline script including the Polymer Constructor. And this constructor has two arguments, the first being the name of the custom element, which is contact-form, and the second argument is an optional argument that describes the element's prototype, where you can add values and behavior. So now that we've got our web component finished, all this web component is going to do is actually render this template. Let's go back to our index.html file, and we need to import contact-form.html into our index.html. So let's again use the link element, set the relationship equal to import, and set the href equal to components/contact-form/contact-form.html. Remember, in our last video we talked about how web component technologies like templates, custom elements, shadow DOM, and imports aren't yet supported by all browsers. So in order to fill in the gaps, we'll need to add the Polymer or the platform.js file that was mentioned in the last video. So we're going to use a CDN from Cloudflare to host it, and we'll just add the last script tag. It contains the polyfills that are needed to allow us to use web components across browsers. Remember that Platform will only use the polyfills that aren't yet supported natively in the browser. Alright, let's also go in and add contact-form, and let's save that. Now let's go to our website that contains contact form, and you can see that it renders our inputs, our text area, and our button. If we look at the inspector, you can see that the containing element, contact-form, contains the shadow DOM, and that's where it renders out our template that we used. So in the next video, we're going to hook this up with Ajax and have it email us whenever someone submits a new message. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a comment and let us know how you like the video. Also like and share as well, and we will see you guys next time.